Hi there and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And it's been a hot minute since I've been here. Been super busy. My husband and I took a trip and we went to the islands and it took me a really long time to get out of that island mode. Like a really long time. Anyway, today I decided that I should get a video done because I'm trying to keep more on top of it in spite of my crazy schedule with quilting and grandkids and whatever. But uh, I was going to do my January cards in January, and then my classes got canceled because of the weather. If you live anywhere near Ontario, you know, it's been a little crazy weather and super, super cold. So, anyway, I'm doing it today. And we had our class earlier this week, and these are actually my January cards done in February. So I'm going to be focusing on the Spotlight on Nature stamp set. I absolutely love this. And I actually received this when I went to, I think, On Stage last year. We were able to choose one of three choices, and this was my choice for On Stage of last year's. It was a pre-available card to the new catalog that started in May. So I'm going to On Stage again this year, next month in Raleigh in North Carolina. I've only been to Raleigh once. And we were there in the summertime the last time, so it'll be interesting to see what the weather's like in March of this year because everybody's weather is so wonky. So I'm curious to see what our choices are for this special event while we're there to pick. So lots going on, and excuse me, I decided to kind of do this spur of the moment, and I'm not organized even a little bit. I'm not, and I apologize for that. But I do have my card kits here, so without further ado, I will post my host code in the comments for the month of February. And this is the last couple weeks for celebration. And if you look on my website, Critters'n Ink, or Stampin' Up, critters'nink.stampinup.net, you will be able to see the new items. This week they added some new items to the celebration. And there are things that are actually, I think, from the main annual catalog. So there's some pretty cool stuff in there. And they're all at level 1, which is with the $75 purchase. So check those out. Also, if you aren't already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm not sure what I'm at. I'm at 600 and something right now, so a little bit further to go. And if you'd like to be on my email list, if you pop onto my blog at critters'nink.com, there is a pop-up there for to sign on for my newsletter. Now, last month, while we were away, a spam bot got a hold of my website. Well, let me tell you, I had like way over 1,000 requests to join my newsletter in less than 24 hours. What a freaking nightmare that was. It took me, well, every time we went back to our room, I'd sit down on my iPad and delete like 500 emails at a time. And I consulted my my tech person who's amazing. She's a demonstrator in the US, and she also helps me with my website. She redesigned my website for me. And I texted her and I said, what do I do? And she said, you need to enable this thing called in captcha or reCAPTCHA, something like that. Anyway, it took me the better part of 2 hours to figure out where that was, but I did it. And immediately all these emails stopped. And I was freaking out. I said to my husband, I don't even know what to do here. I was tempted to shut down my blog, which of course you don't want to do. Not that I'm a crazy blogger by any stretch. I'm not, but you know, a lot of work went into that. And anyway, I figured it out, got rid of all those stupid emails. So if you would like to sign up for my emails, which honestly are not that regular, I'm working on it. Uh, Go ahead and go to crittersandinc.com and that little pop-up will come up and you can sign up for my email there. I would love you to do that. So I think, why don't we just get started here? I have a sick cat and I don't know what to do with her. She's whining and moaning and being a real kind of nuisance. And I feel bad for her, but she doesn't speak people. So I don't know what's wrong with her. And I don't think anything's wrong with her. She's just been really needy since we got back from our vacation. So honestly, I don't know what to do with her. So the first card that we're going to do is this one. And I cased this one from my friend and fellow demonstrator, Jennifer. So I saw this on her. She's on a quest. She's posting a card every day, and this was one of the cards that she posted. So I'm going to go ahead and make that one. So let me grab my kit somewhere. So I have my kit here, and I have a piece of masking paper. Got something in my nail there. A piece of masking paper here that is a couple of inches wide. So I'm just going to pop this on my glass mat so I don't get it icky. And then for my card, I have my card base, which is basic white thick, and a piece of basic black that is 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece of regular layering weight basic white, which is 3 3/4 by 5. Yep. And then I also have a piece of basic black that is 1 1/4 by 5. And we're going to trim this, so it doesn't matter if it's 1 1/4 by 6 or whatever. And then this piece is 1 by probably 5 and something, 5 3/4. But again, we're going to trim it, so it really doesn't matter. So the first thing you need to do is I'm not going to fold. I'm going to take my card front and I'm going to take my basic white and I'm just going to lay it across my card front like this. And I'm just going to mark very lightly. It's going to be hidden anyway, but very lightly, just a pencil mark so that I know where to put my masking tape when I do my stamping. So I'm just using the 3M Post-it tape. But this one I think is 2 inches, yeah. But you can use just any masking paper that you have. Like if you have the Stampin' Up! Masking paper, that will work just great. So I'm just going to line this right up along that line. And I'm just going to straighten out my card here a little bit. There. And I'm going to take the main flower of my stamps and a block. I'm using the E block. It tells you what size it is right here, E. So let's just load that right up. And I'm going to stamp my flowers in, I want a gray, basic gray. No, smoky slate. I grabbed gray granite by mistake. Smoky slate is just a little bit lighter. And I'm basically going to do like a no line coloring with this. So I'm just going to ink it up, and I'm not inking up the whole stamp. I'm going to ink up to about maybe there because I don't want it to go into the bottom of my panel there because I have to stamp on the bottom part too. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this on here like that. And then I'm just going to use this flower here, I think. But you can, you know what, use whatever you like just to fill in that spot. And then I'm just going to pop this like maybe like this. There. So that's the top part. So I'm going to peel off my tape and rotate my sheet. I hope that's pencil and not ink. If it's ink, I'm going to have to try and cover it up. And then I'm just going to pop my tape along the other line like that. So same thing, I'm going to ink up my flower only to, you know, I don't know why I keep thinking my camera's over there. It's over here. So I'm just going to ink up the top 2/3 of my stamp. And how am I going to do this one? I'm going to do it this way. I want to cover up this little boo-boo that I have here, tiny little thing of ink. So I want to cover that up. So I'm just going to pop that flower right over it and you won't even see it. And then I think now I'm going to go like this, like that. There, perfect. Okay. So I think that's all the ink that I need at the moment. So I'm going to keep this tape for my next card. So I'm just going to pop it right on the back of my stamp box here. And I better clean off that stamp before I get ink on anything else. So I've just got my little chamois. I've got my little chamois here. I also have my big pink chamois, the purpley colored one here, but this one was closer. So just give my little stamps a clean there. And pop this away. And then I'm going to go ahead and color. So to color it, I have Flirty Flamingo Bubble Bath and Fresh Freesia for the flowers. And then for the leaves, I'm using Soft Sea Foam and Old Olive. So I'm going to start with the Bubble Bath Light. And I'm going to do the whole flower in the Bubble Bath Light. Now it doesn't matter if I go over this line, because when I put my black piece over, which is 1 1/4 inches, all that's going to be covered. So if you go off the line at the bottom, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And if you're not the greatest colorer and you do go over the lines, just make it look like a watercolor. Like right here, I just went over my line. I'm going to grab my color lifter. And the color lifter is fabulous. It's like an eraser for alcohol ink. So if I just do that, it's actually going to dissolve that pink ink. So I don't have to worry about it. So I should do my blending before these get too dry. I mean, it's alcohol, it dries pretty quick, but it blends better if you do it right away. So let me go ahead and grab, is it Flirty Flamingo that I want? Maybe. Let me see. No, I do not want Flirty Flamingo. I need, what do I need? Okay, so that wasn't, this isn't Bubble Bath. What is, oh, no. What am I looking for? Ink. I don't want ink. I want, maybe Pretty in Pink is a little bit darker. Yeah, let's try Pretty in Pink with this one. Now again, this is going to be covered, so I mean, I don't care if I get a little bit of ink. It's still pretty pink, pretty orange. You know what? I'm just going to use Highland Heather. I wish I had written down the colors that I used and I didn't. So Highland Heather it is. I'm just going to go in the bottom here a little bit. And I'm going to do Highland Heather. So like this. Yeah, that's better. And I'm just kind of going in where the stamp has the darker parts. And then, oops, Flirty Flamingo, I don't want that one. I'm going to go back in with my light bubble bath and just blend that out a little bit. There. So it just gives it a little bit of dimension without getting super dark. And I'm just going to do the same thing on this one. If you're just joining me, don't forget to say hello and tell me where you're from. Oops, I missed a spot. So go ahead and do these ones. Ah, you know what? This is going to be a purple flower. I picked the wrong one. That's all right. I picked up fresh freesia instead of the bubble bath. That's okay. I'll just have to remember to do a fresh freesia flower on the other side. So I'm going to grab the dark fresh freesia and blend that up a bit. Like just like that. And I went over here just a smidge. So I'm just using my color lifter to lift that up a tiny bit. And I just have to put color back where the color lifter lifted it. There, beautiful. So this is the light again. So I'm just going to try and blend that out a little bit. And back to my bubble bath. I just love this set. And the dies really don't have anything to do with the flowers. The dies are actually circles. Like, aren't they pretty? Love these. And that was what attracted me to this set in the first place, was the dies, because I love layering dies. And I think we just don't have enough of them. So we woke up this morning. Our house was 13 degrees Celsius. That's cold. Our furnace stopped working in the middle of the night. And I couldn't, like, even with the cat on me and 3 layers of blankets, I was so cold. And so when my husband, he got up about a half an hour after me and he goes, "Holy Dinah, it's cold in here." And I'm like, yep. And the first thing I tried to do was put on our propane fireplace. Well, we had no propane, which is kind of weird because we actually just had our propane filled about 5 weeks ago. Now, I know it's been cold, but we were away for a whole week. And so obviously we weren't cooking, we weren't using the propane. The furnace was turned down because the cats have fur coats. So I said to my husband, like, we really need to get the furnace. It's a brand new furnace. We just got it a couple of months ago. We really need to get the furnace guy to come in here and recalibrate the furnace, because that's ridiculous. Now, kudos to the propane guy. Glenn called them at like 1 minute after 8 o'clock this morning, and they were here before 8:30. So you sure can't fault our propane people, because they are amazing. They were here lickety split. And the woman did say people are going through the propane faster this month because it has been just so frigid with this little polar vortex that we're having. So I'm just coming in here with the darker of the seafoam, just to give it a little bit more depth at the bottom, like that. And then I'm going to flip it around and do it this way. And I do want to make sure that I put in at least 1 fresh freesia flower to match this guy that I screwed up the color with. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this little one in the fresh freesia. I love fresh freesia as a color, but isn't what I was planning. So this is the light. So I can go in with the dark, give a little bit of dimension. Like that. And then I'm going to go back in with my light bubble bath. Like this. And I'm going to come in with my light fresh freesia just at the bottom here. And then just blend that out a little bit. So pretty. I wish I could color like, if you're a real color enthusiast, check out Jay Soriano at Mitosu Crafts in the UK. That boy is a genius when it comes to color. And when he does his color classes, he's a demonstrator in the UK. And when he does his masterclass, coloring masterclasses, like I'm using 2 colors, he might use like 5. And his colors are spot on, and he just knows everything. He's got a degree in art, I think. And he just does wonder with color. And he also is on the artisan team for Stampin' Up! Again this year. He's been on that a couple times. And he's got a wicked sense of humor too. He's so funny. There. Yeah, so check him out, Jay Soriano. So Jennifer, I hope I'm doing your card justice. Actually, Jen was at my class the other night and she goes, "Oh, this card looks familiar." I'm like, "Yeah, because I cased it from you." Yep. She and I are going to On Stage this year in Raleigh, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going with our one of our other team members, Carol, and then a lady that I met at On Stage in Houston last year who lives near my daughter. So we're actually going together. We're traveling together and we're going to stay together there. So it's great how you just make these new friends, and yeah, it's wonderful. It's like a little sisterhood kind of. So I'm looking forward to it. Typically, I think North Carolina. Oh, I missed a spot. I got too much ink in the corner here. I think typically North Carolina would be a little bit warmer in March than it probably will be this year, but you never know. All right, so I'm going to swap over to my seafoam, and I'm using light soft seafoam for my leaves. This is a very underrated color. I don't use it as much as I should, and I love it because to me it's almost like a light jade color. It's so soft and subtle. I just love it. There. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and I'm just going to go in with my dark and just give it a little bit of dimension here. It's just amazing how many, just a couple of strokes of the color will actually just give it that little bit of dimension that you need. So that's it for the coloring for this one. And so for this, I can now glue my my white and black together, but I want to stamp my white first. So I'm going to grab my Stamparatas. I think I left my Stamparatas upstairs, so I'm going to use my Misty. Whatever positioner you have is great. There's all kinds of them out there. And actually, I think I'm going to do it this way. And I'm just going to line it up against one of these so that it's sort of straight. I don't know how straight my insert is. And I'm going to use the Happy Birthday from Sweetly Scripted. I love this stamp set. And it is a cling set. So theoretically, I should take out my thick base here because I don't want to damage the hinges, but I'll be very, very careful. So I can see that I have a little bit of ink or something on there. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Mist and I'm going to just give that a little spray. I don't think I got all the ink off of it last time. There. I find the Stampin' Mist smells a little bit like fabric freshener, laundry freshener, whatever you call that. I don't use it because I can't stand smells, but what do you call that? Fabric softener. Yeah. What did I call it? Laundry softener. Okay, so I'm just going to straighten that so that it's pretty straight. It looks pretty straight to me. And just pick it up. All right, so I'm going to use Memento Black to ink this up. Now, the reason I'm using the Stamparatus as opposed to just a block is that I want to make sure that I have a really good stamp like right away, rather than, because if you miss on something like this and then you try to line it up with a rubber stamp, guess what? Not happening. That's why if I'm using rubber stamps, I really like to use a stamp positioner in case I have to go over it. Like when you're using a clear stamp, you can, this is what I'm using to clean it, Stampin' Mist. If you're using a clear stamp, you have a, whoops, I almost sprayed it right on that. You have a better chance of lining it up. Not that I think I'd have any luck lining up that, but if you're really good, you could. But I'm not really good at it, so I wouldn't even try it. All right, so I'm just going to clean that and put that away. We don't need that anymore. Get that off of there. And it's going to go there. All right, so let's get rid of this. Okay, so next I have this and this. That's going to go like that. There's a couple more things I want to do to my card front. On this set, there's like a little, I don't know if you can, there's like a little hashtaggy kind of thing. So I'm going to pick that up with a smaller block. And I'm going to use the smoky slate again, and I'm just going to put a couple of little things around just to give it a little bit of extra kind of dimension, like that. There. I think that's all it needs, like just a little, right? And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. And I just have an old paintbrush. It's not very good. It's just a crappy old paintbrush. And I'm going to put a couple of drops of the Memento refill. Like literally one drop is going to be plenty. And a little spritz of water. Where's my little water spray bottle? Here. So just a tiny, tiny bit of water. Just a few drops. Making a mess. So I just want to test it here because all I want are a few little drops. I'm not really getting any drops. I don't want anything on here though. Let me move that out of the way because this does. Why are we not working? Come on, people, work with me. I'm going to change brushes. This one obviously has a bad attitude. So let me try this one. Maybe I need to wet the brush first. I don't know. I don't splatter very often. I love the look of it, but I don't do it. Oh, here we go. That's much better. Okay. So I'm going to pop my card base down there, and I'm just going to take my, I got bigger blobs than I wanted, but you know what? It's okay. There. So I got a few little blobs on there. That's all right, but I got some cute little sprays here too. So let me clean this up because obviously we don't want to get that on our card. And that's why you really only need one drop. Look at how far that goes. So I'll clean my brush later now that I have black ink all over me. And we can go ahead and start to assemble our card. So I'll make sure I don't have any transferable ink on my hands. So I have my card base. So let's get this guy folded. And I'm going to pop down my card front onto my basic black. So this basic black is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I think I had said that it was 4 by 5 and a, no, 4 by 5 1/4, but it's not. It's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then my white piece is 3 3/4 by 5. So basically I just have like a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So there's my glue. I just refilled my little bottle yesterday because it was pretty empty. There. Very cute. And then this is going to go on the front of my card. And I'm just going to center that like right in the middle. And the beauty of using liquid glue is that I can move it around if I need to. Okay, so there's that. Now let's, oh shoot, you know what? I got to take that off. Because I need to trim this. So I got that off. Whew. So I'm going to pop this onto the black. And I'm just going to center it onto the black here. There we go. And then this is going to sit like this, but I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals, which are, where are my dimensionals? They might still be upstairs from my class. I'm not sure where they are, but I have a little package here that I can use. These are fighting back. So I'm going to put it kind of on an angle like this. And I don't want it too close to the end because I have to trim that off. That's going to go there. These scissors feel sticky. I have to give them a clean. And then that's going to go there. Yeah, these are really gooey. Too much glue on those babies. Clean them off. There, okay, so this is gonna go onto the card. There we are. So theoretically, I should have my silicone mat under here because I do have glue all over the back of that. There, so I'm just going to pop that right on there. And don't forget that I've got these pencil lines there, but it's only pencil and it's going to be covered because this is 1 inch apart and this is 1 1/4. So you don't even really have to erase those if you don't want to. There we go. So that's on there. I'm going to grab a different pair of scissors because those ones are too sticky. So I'm just going to go straight down like this. And straight down like this. Now this dimensional is sticking out a little. Just going to trim that a little bit better here. Okay, I can see that and it's bugging me. I'm going to take a black marker. I have a black magic marker right here. I'm just going to cover that up so that it's not like in your face. See, now you can't even see it. I'm going to do the same on this side. I should have used black dimensionals, but they're in the drawer, so this works. Whatever works. All right, so now I can go ahead and re-glue this to the bottom of my, or to the top of my card base. Like this. It's a little stickier than it would be because I already had glue on there, but I'm trying to center it. So there we go. Beautiful. And then I've got my iridescent pearls, basic jewels here. These are one of my favorite. I like the pearls at the best of times, but when they came out with the iridescent ones, I was in heaven. I just thought, these are amazing. All right, so let me just grab a few. And I am going to cover up a couple of those big blobs here with a pearl because I really didn't want them to be so big. I wanted more like the little ones that you see. I don't even know if you can see, but they're just very, very subtle, just little tiny dots, and I prefer that. So, and then I'm going to pop a big one up here. There, and that's the outside of our card. Isn't that pretty? Now the inside, you could do it just pop a stamp right on here if you wanted to. I tend to not like the flimsiness, even of the thicker card base. I prefer to have like a thicker card. So I'm going to take a piece of basic black that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to take a piece of basic white. This is also 4 by 5 1/4, so I'm going to have to trim it. Let me grab my trimmer. So I'm going to trim that to 3 3/4 by 5. Nope, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Because I like that tiny little bit of black there. So, and 5 1/8. I just think it looks, for me anyway, it's my personal taste, right? If you like the bigger margin all the way around, you can absolutely do that, but I like the smaller. So I'm going to take my gray granite, smoky slate, and I'm going to redo that flower. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do the butterfly. There's a really nice butterfly in here. Butterfly flower, butterfly flower. I'm going to do the flower. All right, so let me grab my block again. Oh, here it is. So let me pop that back on the block. And I'm just going to pop it off to the side like this. There. Just so that I have something on the inside so it's not naked. And I'm also going to do my envelope so it's not naked. No naked envelopes, right? And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to pop the flower off to one side on the envelope. Like this. There. That is so pretty. Okay. So that's our envelope. And this is for the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and just glue this together. And I typically do not put a sentiment on the inside of the card until I know who it's going to, because you know, like I might put a different sentiment in if I was sending it to my sister versus my girlfriend. So that's simply my choice. If you have sort of a generic inside sort of statement that you like to use all the time, then go ahead and do like multi-stamping. But then I tend to just do it when I know who it's going to. There. So there's our card. Card number 1. Isn't that cute? I will have the PDFs ready by the weekend. What's today's Friday? So I will try and get them done either tonight, this afternoon, or tonight. I do have a lot going on this afternoon, but we will see. But I will get the PDFs going. And if you place a $75 order during the next, say 14 days, I will put an end date on there. I will send you the PDFs. And before the end of February, you also, with a $75 order, will be able to choose something free from Celebration. And there's a whole pile of new things that came out Tuesday. So certainly give that some thought. Now this second card, I'm just going to get that out of the way because it's got ink on it. This second card is really fun. I saw this one on Pinterest. And if you're ever uninspired, just pop onto Pinterest, choose a stamp set, and then go on Pinterest. And I'm telling you, the inspiration out there is friggin' amazing. Now, this one may actually have been in the catalog too. I cannot remember, to be really, really honest. And had I thought about it, I would have done this and cut it out because you have to fussy cut. There's no die cut for that. But this is a really simple card to make, and it's really great. What I do need, though, that I forgot, is a piece of Night of Navy. So I'm going to have to harvest one off of the next card kit. So I'm going to cut, let me grab my cut and emboss machine. I'm just going to grab this one, I guess. I'll use the big one. I was going to use the mini, but there. And I need my, okay. All right, so I have my base number 1, my base number 2, which is my shim for my die cuts, number 2, and then I have 2 number 3s. So for this, I'm going to need so let me just show you the dies. So here are the dies. So I'm going to use the second smaller of the floral little ones with these little floral thingies. And then the next one as well that has the dashes and dots. God, say that 3 times. So I'm going to use those 2. So first thing I'm going to do is on my basic beige. So I have a piece of basic beige here. I'll give you the measurements in a second. The first thing I want to do is cut out the smaller one of the, like the dots and dashes one from the basic beige, and I'm going to put it over maybe about 1/4 of an inch from the side, maybe 1/2 an inch. Yeah, 1/2 an inch from there, because we're going to use this on the top of the card. So that's going to be this element. But rather than waste a piece of cardstock, I'm going to cut it out of this piece here. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4. So let me go ahead and cut this one out. Now, the only thing about these dies is when we were doing the class the other day, the girls were hilarious. They were calling all these little bits, well, let's just say mouse droppings. That isn't what they said, but that's what they were inferring. So let me use my brush, get them out quicker. So this brush is an add-on that you can purchase for the Take Your Pick tool. And the little bristles just get into all the little holes and get rid of all this extraneous mouse poo. There. Okay, so that one's clean. So I can put that one aside. So this portion is going to go onto the front of the card, but there's going to be a blue thing here. So let me go ahead and cut a piece of blue. I harvested one of my other card fronts from another kit. I'll just replace it. So I'm going to cut this. I'm just going to cut it in half. And then we'll use this piece to cut out our bigger circle. So remember, this is the second bigger of the floral little circles. So I'm just going to pop that right on there. And run that through like this. Uh-oh, it shifted. Not good. There. Oh, it keeps shifting on me. Come on, over you go. Behave. There we go. There, complete with little Night of Navy mouse poo all over the place. All right, so let's put this over here. And there. So let's see. So I've got my basic beige, and I have my Night of Navy, and this is going to go like this. So my card base is Night of Navy, so it's a half a sheet of basic, good God, a half a piece of Night of Navy, 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4, so that's a typical card base. So let me go ahead and fold that. There we go. So now this is going to sit on here like this. And then these elements are going to sit on here like this. So very, very basic. But you can see why it's okay to cut this out of here, because you're not going to miss it. It's going to be covered by the blue. So the first thing I need to do is stamp my leaf. What did I do with my stamp set? So I need this leaf with all my little pieces of cutout here. So I've got my leaf, and I'm going to stamp that in the basic beige on the basic beige. So I'm just going to ink this up. And I know I've used this stamp many times before, but I'm just going to test stamp it, make sure that it's going to stamp okay, and it is. So let me go ahead, and I just want to stamp this kind of like a little higher, sort of like that. Isn't that pretty? And then I need the dear friend. No, I'm going to use thanks this time because I do need some thank you cards. So I'm just going to use thanks. You can use dear friend like I did on this one. But this time I'm going to do thanks because I do need some thank you cards this month. So I'm just going to stamp that right there. Beauty. So let's get these cleaned up so we don't get any ink transfer because you know me, the queen of ink transfer. And we don't want that. The other day, I don't know what the heck I was doing, but I think I said this in my last video, and it happened the other day too. It was like a toddler with finger paint. Like, holy crap, there was ink everywhere. All right, so if you're wondering, you may or may not be wondering, but if you're wondering, I just keep my little chamois in this. I just got this at, I think at the dollar store. And I keep it wet and it doesn't go smelly. I've never had it go stinky on me. Somebody asked me that. Doesn't it get stinky? It does not. Well, not mine. You know, it doesn't. But it's like those Swedish dishcloths, you know, the ones that are sort of like a really thin layer of sponge. Do you ever buy those? My girlfriend gave me a tip. Her daughter is the queen of organization and cleaning tips. And she suggested, oh, I still need this. She suggested just putting those Swedish washcloths, kitchen cloths, into the dishwasher every time you do a load. Well, guess what? They come out bleached from the dishwashing tabs and not smelly. Because I found that they got smelly real fast. And that's one smell I cannot stand. All right, so I'm going to put this aside. I do have a piece of basic white here. And I'm going to take my smoky slate again. I could do it in the basic beige, but I really like the smoky slate for the no line coloring. So let me ink up this. And this time I want to ink up the whole flower. My inky? Yep. So I'm just going to pop it right on here. And see, I just stuck this right in the ink. I'm telling you. Queen of the ink disasters. All right, so let's go ahead and color it. I'm going to use the same colors that I used before. So I have Bubble Bath Light and Bubble Bath Dark. Fresh Freesia Light and Soft Seafoam. So I'm going to do this really quickly. I wish I had done this earlier and cut it out, but I didn't actually think that. Organization is not a skill I actually entertain, so sorry. It's funny, some days I'm super organized and then other days it's like a foreign language. I just don't know. There. I love this stamp set. It is so pretty. So you can see I'm not I'm not overly possessed with how I color. This works. And then I'm going to put a bit of fresh freesia at the bottom here. Just tiny, tiny bit. Like that. There. And I'm just going to go back on with the light Bubble Bath just a little bit to kind of blend that out a little. Just to soften it up. There we go. There. did go over a little bit. So I'm just going to grab my color lifter here and give that a little cleanup right there. Okay, so now I've got my light soft seafoam, and oops, I'm just trying to, I don't know why my chats are not working. Try this here. So if you're watching, if you wouldn't mind just saying something, because I don't know why my chats aren't working. Oh, hi Donna, somebody did okay. So yeah, it's driving me crazy. I could not, it took me an hour to get Facebook to even connect this morning. I had to uninstall the whole thing on my streaming software, and then reinstall it, and then redo all the linkage and everything. It was like a super pain. And my husband is not even remotely a Mac person, and so when I ask for his help, he just kind of, his hair falls out. So I was gonna go live at 10:30 this morning, and I could not. So I'm glad I didn't post that I was going live at 10:30, because I couldn't even get the thing to connect. And I am not particularly nerdy, I guess is the word. I'm a little bit nerdy, but not super nerdy. I struggle. I used to be very nerdy, and I don't know, somehow as you get older and technology changes faster than your brain does. So, and then if I want to learn something new on YouTube, I go on YouTube and look it up. Because YouTube has all the answers. I forget what my husband was building, but he was like, YouTube is his best friend. There. So Donna, this is the card that we made the other night. Donna couldn't make it. She wasn't well. But if you want, I can bring a kit with me on Saturday. Totally up to you. Okay, so I'm going to quickly fussy cut this. I am not a fussy cut queen, but hey. It would be nice if they had an add-on die set for this floral, but they don't. And had I thought about it, I would have done a whole bunch of them and then cut them out with my scan and cut, which I may do anyway, because I do like this flower and I use it quite a bit. So if you have a scan and cut, scan it and cut it. This is not the best fussy cutting job in the world, but it'll do. Oops. I was speaking of Jay Soriano earlier. He is the color king of artists. He's so good. You should see this guy fussy cut. He's amazing. His lines, he's always exactly like a 32nd of an inch from his target, and he really takes his time, which I don't have the patience that he has, but he's an all-around artist. Don't worry, I'll go back and do that. All right, so to get in here, sorry if this is painful for watching. If you're just popping in, don't forget to say hello and tell me where you're from. Almost done. There we are. Come on. Donna, are you working today or did you take the day off? It's very cold today. Today would be a good day to stay home. Yesterday, it was not a nice day whatsoever. We had unbelievable winds here, and it was so cold. And we have huge trees on our property, and we heard a great big crack, and we were sure one was going to land on one of our cars. But when my husband went out later to check the mail, our mailbox is across the street. We live in a rural area, so our mail gets delivered to a mailbox on the side of the road. And when he went to check the mail, he also checked to make sure we didn't have any trees down, and we didn't, so that was good. All right. Okay, so there's our flower, and here's our piece here. So this is going to go like this, and then this flower is going to sit on here like this. Isn't that cute? So let's assemble. I just need a drink. I've not been very good about getting my water in the last couple days. And I find with the furnace on, I get so dehydrated. All right, so this is going to sit here like this. Make sure it's straight. And then I'm going to pop these up. Now I could put these on dimensionals, but because I'm putting the flower on dimensionals, unless you're hand delivering it, you really don't want to add a lot of bulk, because if it doesn't go through that little slider thing, it's going to cost you more postage. And postage in Canada right now, I forget what it is to mail a letter, but it's like $1.50 or 60, something crazy like that. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're not putting undue postage on your letters. Now, I just had a thought. I don't know whether I will or not, but there is a little kind of a gravelly, I don't know if you can see, like a little gravelly thing here, and I may put some on this circle. Let me just grab a little block. I'm going to flip this over and see what I think. I'll do it on the back side, and then if I like it, I'll keep it, and if I don't, I won't. So let's open this guy up. Don't need these anymore. All right, so let's just add a few of these kind of randomly. There. So if I put this like this, and then I put my flower on top of it, I don't know. What do you think? Can you even see it? You know what? I think I will. I think it needs just that little something. It's very, very subtle, of course, but I like it. Okay, so I'm going to flip it to the right side, and I'm going to just put a few of these little things here and there. I probably have too many, but it's texture. Can't go wrong with texture, I think. Okay. So that's going to go there. The flower's going to go there. I think that looks okay. Yep. Okie doke. So that's going to go on here. So we'll just pop that right in the middle. So while that's setting, I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella. And I'm going to winkify my flower because it does need a little something. It's kind of flat. So I'm just going to winkify this flower here. I love Wink of Stella. I was almost out of Wink of Stella, and then they went unorderable. They weren't available. And I was freaking out. I'm like, no, I need my Wink of Stella. But just as my last pen got opened, my new package, they came back orderable, and I ordered like 4 of them. There, to me, that just makes such a little difference. It's subtle, but it's lovely. And the beauty of Wink of Stella is that it's alcohol, so it dries super fast. But see how, I don't know if you can see the shimmer. I can see the shimmer. It's really, really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to grab some mini, what do you call these things? Dimensionals. Oh, wrong one. And I'm going to just pop this up. Now, I tend to use a lot of dimensionals because I don't want it to sag. It's a little close to the edge there. I don't like it when a part of an element sags, and if you're mailing it and it starts to sag, you could get like, it could distort a little. And you know, all the work that you put in the card for the sake of a couple of dimensionals. Now I'm going to cut a couple in half. They're tiny, but the leaves are skinny, so I don't want to not support them, but I also don't want them sticking out. So I just cut them in half here. There, whoops. There we are. Oopsie. There we go. And I think I need one more. Okay. Right on there. And right on there. There. So if you think that's a bit of overkill, you know, it might be, but I don't like saggy bits. I have enough saggy bits on me. I don't need to encourage saggy bits everywhere else. All right, so let's get rid of these. Looking good. There. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that right on there. Beautiful. Love it. You can kind of see the shimmer now a little bit. Okay, now for embellishments, I used, oh, where are they? Oh, they were on my desk here. What do I do with them? Well, I guess the cat took them. No, she didn't. I didn't let her in this morning. They are here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Okay, so these ones are called Genial Gems. And I'm using the soft seafoam ones. Now, I was sure that they used to put the names of the colors on the gems, but I was told yesterday that they didn't. So I don't know what I'm smoking, but it would be lovely if they would put the colors of the gems, because sometimes you're just not sure what color they're putting, you know, of these gems. But this to me looks like soft seafoam, so that's what I'm using. So I just kind of randomly stuck a couple here and one over here. Isn't that pretty? So for the inside, I'm just going to take a piece of basic white. Nope, not basic white. Am I going to use basic white? Or should I use basic beige? Now in the card class, I did use basic white. You know what? I'm going to use the white. I think the white just looks nicer. So I've got a piece of basic white here that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take that leaf from the front and I'm going to stamp it again on the inside in the basic beige. Now the basic beige, I don't know, sometimes to me it looks a little bit on the green side, but I could use the gray, I guess, but there. To me it looks smidgen green, but I think when it dries it won't be quite as green looking. So I'll just glue that right in there. And again, I'm not putting a sentiment until I know who it's going for. There. So there's card number 2. Isn't that cute? Super cute. All right. So that's 2 cards that we have done. Let me just clean my blocks so they don't get any ink transfer. We sure don't want that. Okay. So the next card is super, super quick and super, super fast. Super quick and super fast. No, super quick and super easy. So this is this one. Now, this again, I saw on Pinterest and I wrote down the person's name, but I cannot remember what it is. I wonder if I wrote it down in my notes. I did not, and I apologize. No, I didn't. Okay. Nor I tried to write down when I case something out of Pinterest. I usually try to write down the person's name and I absolutely didn't. So my apologies, but isn't that cute? Cute, 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 and super simple. So for that card base, or card, I guess, we need not much. So I have a basic white card base. That, let's just prepare it. Might as well get it ready. So I'm just going to fold it. I'm going to use my trimmer. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here. So when I have a card base that doesn't want to comply and fold properly, I just stick it in the corner of my trimmer like this, push all the corners, and then I just take my bone folder and give it a quick burnish like that. And that, now my corners are perfectly lined up. Okay, so let me grab a couple of brushes and some Daffodil Delight and Pool Party ink. So I've got my Pool Party and Daffodil Delight and my brushes. So for my brushes, I just use color groups. I don't have a brush for every color. That would be crazy expensive. So I just use like one brush for my turquoisey colors, one brush for my pinky colors, and a brush for my yellow colors. And then I just clean them with my, this is just like a dishcloth, and I just give them a clean because I don't know exactly what was on here. Now I do know that this was Pool Party from the class the other day, but I just give it a quick clean. But you can see there's a bit of ink on there. I'm just going to wipe as much of that off as possible because I don't want ink transfer on my card base. So, and I just throw these cloths in the laundry with my regular laundry. There's so little ink in there that it's not going to damage my laundry at all. All right, so let me take my basic white here is 3 3/4 by 5. Whoops, 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm just gonna do a couple of little circles. So I've got my yellow. Let me grab a piece of scrap here too, so I don't make a mess. So I'm just gonna ink it up, tap off the blobs, and then I'm just gonna do like a little circle in the bottom of the card base. It doesn't need to be dark. You can make it as light or as dark as you like. I think that's probably as dark as I want it to be. So that was the Daffodil Delight. And then I'm going to take the Pool Party and I'm going to do the same thing. So tap off your blobs and then just very lightly, and I hardly have any pressure on my brush at all. I'm just very lightly going in a circle. And I don't really want to overlap because I could end up with like green, which I don't want. I just want like a blue little circle here. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be color. That's how easy that is. So this would be super simple to do in bulk, like if you wanted to do in bulk. So I'm finished with my brushes. I can pop them away. And I'm going to take my positioner again. Now I'm using a Misty. I left my Stamparatus upstairs, so I'm just going to use what I have down here. So I'm going to pop this in the corner because I don't want it to shift. Now I do have a sticky mat in here. I bought my sticky mat at either Class Act, I can't remember now. There's two shops that I go to sometimes. There's Class Act in Oshawa or Glitter and Ink in Belleville, near where I live. So it was either one of those two stores. And it's just, man, you should see all the cat hair on here. So yeah, either one of those two stores or a craft shop, obviously, that's close to you that carries them. You can order them online. but I like to support, these are small family-owned businesses, and I prefer to support them. So let's see. I think I'm gonna bring that down a little bit, and I'm gonna pop this on here. Now, I didn't use a stamp positioner when I did this one, and my memento was running out of ink. So you can see it's not really dark. I just had a brainwave. I think I'm going to do an alternative to this. It's going to be basically the same, but I'm just going to add a little twist on there. So I want to make sure that that's straight. Now this has grid lines on it, so I can tell if my word is straight, and it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in Memento Black, but I'm going to grab a Versamark. And clear embossing powder. So clear embossing powder. So let's first stamp it with the black. All right. So I've got my positioning tool. Any positioning tool we'll use. If you have a stamp wheel, use that. If you have Stamparatus, use that. There's many, many, many on the market you can get. Even Walmart has one. So they're out there. There's tons of them, and they're not expensive. So I'm going to stamp this. Now, I just re-inked my my Memento stamp pads the other day. They were pretty sad. There was almost no ink in them. Now, when I push this down, I am not pressing the crap out of it. First of all, I'm using a rubber stamp, and I don't want to damage my hinges. But really, if you want to keep how fine the lines are, the last thing you want to do is smash it down, because those lines are going to distort because it's rubber. It's going to spread out. So you want to just do a very, very fine press when you do that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off my stamp. So let me get my spray cleaner here. I'm just going to give that a little clean. I'm using Stampin' Mist by Stampin' Up. Use any stamp cleaner that you have. There's lots out there. Now, one thing, you know, you obviously you don't want to be using Stays-On cleaner if you're not using Stays-On, because it's pretty harsh. But if you have like regular stamp, or just even a wet, I could have just used my wet chamois, but this was handier. My chamois is got shifted over to the other side of my desk. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm coming in with my Versamark, and I'm just going to ink up my stamp with the Versamark. And I'm going to stamp, and this is the beauty of a stamping positioning tool, because it's going to go exactly where I was before. And you can see it's a little bit shiny, but I'm going to put a couple of coats, make sure that there's lots of Versamark on top of the black ink, because I want my clear embossing powder to stick. Now, what I should have done before I put the Versamark on was to use my embossing buddy, and I totally forgot. So cross your fingers. Now we're using clear, so it's not that big of a deal, but there. Okay, so now I'm going to pop this out. Don't do what I did and put the embossing powder on your mat. You'll have to wash it. When I was doing it, I had my embossing powder, and I did it, instead of using the little tray that I have, I just did it right on the mat, and I thought, well, that wasn't very bright. So I'm going to take my card, and these little containers I just got at the dollar store. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that right in there. Now I can see I actually do have a fair amount of embossing powder around, because I'm not sure that my Oh, come on, Lisa. My other ink was really all that dry, and it must not have been because I literally have embossing powder everywhere. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I think I'm just going to spread it around a little and blow some of it off. And it'll just give a shiny little halo. If I don't like it, I'll just make another one. Because that's how I roll. Well, let's have a look. Oh, shoot. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. And then we'll decide. I may or may not like it. I don't know. Maybe if I really tap it off. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to hold it real tight and then tap off as much as I can. Okay. I grab my heat tool. My husband was using it and he unplugged it without turning it off. Okay. My husband makes model airplanes and he uses my heat tool sometimes to shrink his vinyl on the wings and things. Okay, cross your fingers that this is going to work. There, you can see it changing. That looks really cool, actually. Oh, I like it. Yep. It's a keeper. There. I like it. Isn't that pretty? You can see the shininess of the embossing powder. So that turned out fine. I'll just get rid of this embossing powder. Okay, so let's put this puppy together. So I've got my card base, or not my base, but my black background. So let me go ahead and glue this down. So you can see this is a really quick little card to put together. I do have a bit of warpage from the heat, but I think the glue will hold everything flat. Beautiful. I really like that. That looks so pretty. Okay, and then I've got my white card base. That wasn't very straight. You know what? I'm going to leave it because if I see if I can move it. No, I can't. I can live with it. No, I can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going, oh, you know what? Let me grab my little tiny trimmer and see if I can even this out a little bit. So I'm going to put the white edge, because I really didn't get that on very straight at all. There. And just trim. Yeah, that's better. So I'm just lining up my white edge with the edge of this finger guard so that it's all going to be the same distance. I could have tried to pull it off, but I didn't want to risk tearing it and then have to do it over again. There. That's a lot better. Okay, I can live with that. So, that little trimmer was a joining gift from a few years ago, and it's amazing. I just love that thing. A little mini guillotine. Okay. So I'm going to pop this in the center here. Beautiful. And then for my embellishments, I have the classic matte dots. Now, I didn't check to see if these are still current, but I kind of think they are. I hope they are. Sorry if they're not. But the classic matte dots, and I'm just going to use a couple of the black ones. So I'm going to put 2 small ones up here and a larger one. Where will I put this? Maybe here. There. How cute is that? And I love the embossed. And then the tiny bit of embossing powder that was behind just gave it a tiny little shimmer. It's not even really shiny. It's just very slightly shimmery. So I'm pretty happy with that. I really like that. All right, so for the inside, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. And I've got a piece of basic black here. And a piece of basic white that I'm going to trim to 3 3/4 by 5. So 3 3/4 by 5. So thanks for hanging in there with me. I only have one more little quick project to do after this. Oh, by 5. There we are. And my black is here. Make sure that's 4 by 4 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4, yeah. Okay, so that's gonna go on there, like that for the inside. I love these little mini bottles, but man, they get gunky quick. I should burp it every so often to make sure that I don't have glue build up in the nozzle. So I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside of this one. I'm going to leave it because it is pretty basic on the front. There we go. And I'm just going to pop that on the inside. You could leave the inside just plain white if you wanted to. I just like the idea that it's not just this. To me, this reminds me of a dollar store card if it doesn't have this inside, which, sorry if that seems a little anti-dollar store. It's not, don't get me wrong. But I just think, you know, if you have the resources, just pretty it up a little bit. I just like that. I think it just looks more finished. So that's card number 3. And then for our next little project, it's really quick and really fun and really simple. So we're making a little candy holder. And I've just got a Ghirardelli in there. But isn't that cute? Oh shoot, I forgot my dies. Okay, I'll have to go get my dies. Isn't that just so stinking cute though? All right, so let me grab my dies real fast. Let's see. That's not it. Okay, so I'm using heart-shaped. And this is the bundle here. So it's a very small little set. This is the whole stamp set. And these are all of the dies. There's only 6 little dies in here. And I didn't want to use a whole big magnetic sheet for 6 tiny little dies like this. So I just stuck them in a little baggie and I keep them here. And I do count them. Every time I put them away, I make sure I count them to make sure that all 6 are there. It's so easy to lose your dies, and I lose them regularly. So yeah, I check now all the time because it makes me crazy when I go to use the die and it's not there. So Okay. So I'm going to cut this heart out of these two cardstocks. And these are my embellishments. And then this is going to be, I'm going to cut this out of the, which one? Let me see. Out of this circle. So we're still focused on the spotlight on nature, but only the die in this particular one. So that's going to go on there. So let's put our little critter together first. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to create like a, oh, I think I folded that wrong. So the middle one is going to go this way. So I have, oh, you know what? Let me grab this and just tell you what we have. We have our Matchbox treat. Okay, so our base is 7 3/8 by 2 3/4. And I've scored it at, let me move this here and I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I've already scored it, but I'm going to score it so that you can see. There. So I have, so it's, what I say, 7 3/8 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to score it at 3. And remember that the beige one is your scoring tool. So I'm going to score it at 3 and then 3.5. And remember, I will be typing these PDFs up later today when I get a couple of minutes. I do have to go out in a bit, but I will do that. And then again at 3 3/4. Okay, so that's the base. And then for our little box, we have 5 3/4 by 2 3/8 this way. And this is scored at 2 1/4. So 2 1/4. I've already scored it. I'm not going to score it again because I don't want to tear the papers, but 2 1/4 score, 2.5 score, and 2 3/4 score, and then 5 score. Where's my thing? Score, and then 5 1/4 score, and then 5.5 score. So that makes your little box. Okay. Then so let's put this together and then I'll give you the rest of the dimensions. So I want this to go like this. So I'm making like a little W. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So a little W. Like that. So I've got my little W there. Okay. Let me zoom out a smidge here so you can see what I'm doing. Come on. There. And so I'm going to put a little bit of glue across here. You can use your tear and tape if you want. I'm using liquid glue because that's my go-to glue. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the top little flap there and then create my box. So let me pop that like that. And I'm just lining my raw edges with the fold, and I'm just going to hold that for half a second until it sticks together. Okay, so there's my little box. I didn't really burnish my score lines. You can. I should have. I didn't. But that's okay. It will still work. All right, so then I am going to fold and burnish these score lines that I did on the base. So when I go in and edit these, well, the dimensions will show up in the closed captioning. But if I think of it and I have time, I will go in and edit and put in the dimensions if I can. I will try, put it that way. There, so here's our little matchbox. Okay, it's super simple. So our little box is going to go in with the opening, obviously, otherwise it's not a box, in the top. And then I'm going to make sure that my seam that I just glued is at the back, because you don't want it to show. So I'm going to put this right against the score line at the bottom and centered inside this matchbook like this. I just need a drink. Talking too much. Okay, so I have that centered like that. And then I'm going to take a stapler and I'm just going to pop 2 little staples. You can do 1 staple if you want, but there. So I just have 2 little staples. Now you could have stapled from the back so that these aren't showing, and I probably should have, but you know, I didn't. So this is going to go like this. There you go. Well, maybe I should have put my staples lower. There you go. There we go. Yeah, I should have put my staples a little bit lower. See, it's not flat. I'm going to pop those out and do it again. And then this time I'm going to do the staples from the back so that I don't have these sharp little things, especially if you're giving these to kids. You don't want to have the sharp business. Oh, that went flying. Showing. Watch. I better make sure I wear slippers in here because you don't want to. I don't want to step on that. Okay. So I do have holes here, but I'll just flatten those down. Maybe they won't show so much. There. Okay, so let's do that again. I'm going to pop this in the middle, down here, and I'm going to put my staples lower, and I'm going to do it from the back this time. This is how I roll. I did a little bit lower, probably not low enough. I think I'm going to pop another one lower and then pop that top one out. Yeah. I'll pop this one out. Poor thing is going to be holier than you know what, so that's okay. Oh, what a banana. I undid the good one and not the bad one. I don't know, man. There we go. Okay. So, pardon the holes, but this is going to be better because now it's going to sit square like I want it to. So make sure that your staples are closer to the bottom. Okay, so we're going to cover up those staples on the front with a piece of DSP. So I am using the, oh, what's it called? Marbled Elegance paper. Look how pretty that is. Beautiful. So Marbled Elegance. So let me go ahead and glue that down like this. So this little piece is 2 by 2 5/8 by 1/2 inch. And then this piece of DSP for the front is 2 5/8 by 2.5. So that's going to sit like that. So 2 5/8 by 2.5, like that. And then on the inside, this little piece is 2 by 1 5/8, and that's going to sit right here. So 2 by 1 5/8, and I'm just gluing that down. like that. So there is the basic little matchbook. Isn't that adorable? So the next thing we need to do is cut out our hearts and our little circle. So let me grab, I'm going to grab the mini this time, maybe. Got my blue one, it's already ready to go. We'll just use that one. So this is the Boho Blue Mini. So let's see, I'm going to just cut out one of these at a time. I probably could cut both at the same time, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to cut out my white circle at the same time. Is that the right one? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to cut out this little white circle with the petals at the same time, because I can. All right, so let's go ahead and cut these out. Now what I should have done, and maybe I'll do that for the pink, for the other pink, is put some double-sided adhesive. My iPad won't let me close my drawer here. I have my double-sided adhesive here. So I'm just going to grab a little piece of it. So I'm just going to go like this. So I'm just making it a little bit smaller than my pink piece. So I'm going to put this onto the back of my cardstock. Like that. There we go. There, so this is going to turn my heart into a sticker, and that makes life so much easier. I should have done that with the other one too, but I didn't. Never even thought of it. There, okay, so there's our pink one. And then this one is Melon Mambo. So we'll cut out the same heart with the Melon Mambo and run that through. Sorry, making a ton of noise here. There. Okie doke. Okay, so peel that off. And then when I pop this out, this Melon Mambo one is actually a sticker now. There we go. There, so I'm going to place, where's my silicone sheet here? I do not know how my desk gets so destroyed in like a half an hour period of time. Well, I just had my silicone mat, so it's here somewhere. Oh well, you know what? I can't find it, so we're gonna live without it. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll find it as soon as I'm finished doing this. Oh, maybe I put it on here, did I? I did not. Okay. Oh well, okay, c'est la vie. I'm going to do it this way. All right, so I'm going to peel the backing off very carefully. There, so this is just going to peel off, and then this will be a sticker when I'm done. And I love doing this for things that are delicate because it's really hard just to get glue on certain little leaves, right? Like it's so much easier. Oh, right in my face. Okay. So using a silicone mat is good because the glue won't stick to the silicone mat like it would on my glass sheet here. So if I got it in the wrong spot, I'd be able to pick it up. All right, so I'm just going to offset it. Let me zoom in a little. So I'm just going to offset it a tiny bit, just so that you get like both shades of the pink. So let me just pop that on here. Ah, it's crooked. Okay. And there we go. There. Is it perfect? No, but it gives you that two-tone heart, which is so stinking cute. Now, that's why I'm wishing that I had made this one into a sticker as well, because I'm going to have to use glue on it, but whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue in little dots back here. My little tail gets in the way there. There. Alrighty. So I'm going to open this up and put it flat like this. And then just put a block on it. Should grab a bigger block. There. That's going to hold that down. And then the next thing I need to do is I'm going to find my stamp that I used for this because I can't remember which one it was. I have to just quickly go look for it. And there. So it's the Be My Valentine, and it's the Love You. And this is the one that's in the annual catalog. And then there's a new one called I think it's called Be Mine. Not 100% sure what it's called, but it's similar to this. But it's a newer version. It's got different sentiments, and it's got 2 different sizes of bees. And the flowers are different, I think, as well. I do have it, but I haven't processed it or put a label on it yet. So it's very, very stinking cute. So I'm going to use the Love You out of here, and I'm going to stamp it with Flirty Flamingo. So let me grab a little block. Is that small enough? Is that big enough? I'm going to use my smallest block. I tried to use a block that's closest to the size of the stamp so that you don't get any rocking, and that eliminates more of a chance of having like shadows, or I always just call them like snow angels for your stamps, but totally up to you. If you only have a bigger block, for instance, then I would put the stamp on a corner of the block and just use that corner, and that if instead of putting it in the middle, because then you don't have that rocking, you know, you're concentrating all your pressure just in that one corner. But I do have a small block, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to pop that on there. I'm just going to test stamp it a couple times. This probably needs to be re-inked. That's pretty good. Okay, so let me go ahead and really ink that up well. I think I'll re-ink it though. And then I just want to center that. Watch my head get in the way, sorry. There. It's not perfectly centered, but that's all right. And then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. Right here. And just looking for my heart embellishments. They are here somewhere. Oh my goodness. If you could see this desk, I'm telling you. I cannot find those ones, even though they're on this desk somewhere. I don't know. I do not know. Let me see. I'll give them one more look. Here they are. Okay, I knew they were here. And I'm just going to pop a little one. I guess that's a medium sized one over here. And there's little tiny ones too, so I'm going to put a little one on here and a bigger one beside it, like that. There. And then my chocolate, what did I do with my little chocolate? So these are Ghirardelli, and that just sits in the little pocket like that. And then this closes up like this. Isn't that so stinking cute? So if you were having like a Valentine's dinner for couples, you could put one of these on each plate, or, you know, go in here too, or those, they're about the same size as those, remember those mint, little square mints that you used to get at restaurants after dinner? I forget what they're called now. They're chocolate covered mints. Anyway, they would, are they Andes mints or something? They would fit in there as well. Super cute. So let's go over what we've done. We have that one. And this one. There. So these are the 4 cards that we did today. With all my little mouse poop all over the place. Let me zoom out a little bit. There. So these are the 4 cards that we did today. So I hope this inspires you to do a little craftiness in this cold, cold weather. I do not like the cold, and I will find any excuse to craft instead of go outside. Even though I promised my husband I would help him with the driveway, but you know. Anyway, so there you go. I hope that, again, that this inspires you. And you know, if you're looking for inspiration, just look in the catalog. Either of the catalogs, look on line. There's many inspirational pictures on Pinterest, things like that. Instagram. I don't really. I have an Instagram account. I should start using it. I don't very much. Um, Technology gives me the willies, so I'm getting there. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for joining me again. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit the like button. And again, if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, go to my blog, crittersandinc.com, and there will be a little pop-up that you can put your name and your email in there for me to add you to my mailing list. Thanks again. Have a super afternoon. See you soon. Bye. Bye.